Hi everyone, my name is Cyprian, and today we are going to be making the Logan bucket hat. I will be demonstrating this in an adult size, but it is a free pattern on my blog. So if there's any other size that you want to make, head over there, open up the pattern, and you can still follow along. So the hat is worked top down in increase rounds, and then we're going to be working these little clusters. Now, if you're a beginner and comfortable working stitches and counting stitches, I think that you could definitely follow along with this. These little clusters are just made with double crochet. I'll be showing you how to do those, and I'll also be showing you how to do the front post double crochet and adding this brim. So for the adult size, you just need about 100 grams of worsted weight cotton yarn. And I'll have all the yarn requirements on my blog for each individual size. You'll also want to have a stitch marker just so that we can track the beginning of each round because we are going to be working the beginning in spirals. We won't be joining or turning, and we won't be joining or turning here or here. So a stitch marker for me is a must. So I think that's everything for now. So gather up your supplies and we can get started. Okay, so today I am going to be using the Loops and Threads Classic Cotton, and the color I am using is Iris. I want to remind you that you're going to need two skeins, so you want to make sure when you get them that they are from the same dye lot, because when I picked these up, I didn't actually check, and it wasn't until I got home I realized they were just a little bit off. So this is the dye lot number here. So just make sure that they're the same. Okay, so all you need is a 6 millimeter hook. We're going to be using the same size hook all the way through. And we're going to be starting with our slip knot. And of course, if you know how to do a magic circle, go ahead and work the magic circle. And you're going to be working 8 single crochets. But for the rest of us, we're just going to chain 2. And I like to crochet over my tail, and at the end, I can pull that little hole close that sometimes forms. Okay, so we're just going to go into the second chain from the hook. So that's 1 and 2, and we're going to work 8 single crochet. And see, I'm working over my tail here. And I'm just going to work 8 single crochet. That's 4, 5. Now it's a lot of stitches to work in there, so you might find that you have to shift them over. So just grab them and shift them. And let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and one more. Now this is going to be where you need your stitch marker because we're going to put it into that first stitch of the second round. Okay, so for round 2, we're going to be increasing and we're going to be doing 2 single crochet into every stitch around. So at the end of round 2, you should have 16 stitches. Okay, so we'll just double check that we have 16 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. So for round 3, we're going to do another increase. And this time we're going to work a single crochet into that first stitch, followed by 2 single crochet into the next. So that's 1 and 2. And make sure that you put your stitch marker in that first stitch. So we've done 3, so we'll just count back 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then a single crochet in the next, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. So that's your pattern repeat for round 3. So just go ahead and work those and we'll move on to round 4. Okay, so I'm at the end of round three and my stitch count is off. Now, somebody mentioned in another video that they wished we would show how to find mistakes. So I'm going to show you right now the quickest way to find your arrow. So the pattern repeat on round three, and if you already know how to do this, I'm going to leave a timestamp. You can jump ahead to round four. Okay, so the pattern repeat for round three was a single crochet followed by two single crochet in the next. So what I'm going to do is start at the very beginning of my round and watch for when I made a mistake. So here I've got one single crochet, two single crochet, one single crochet, two single crochet. Here's where I made my mistake. I have one single crochet and then I single crocheted again. So what you're going to want to do is just rip out your work to the start of your mistake. So there's one single crochet. There should be two single crochet in here. So that's how you're going to find your errors moving forward. And it is very important that on a hat that your stitch count is correct because it will change the size of your hat. Okay. So I'm just going to finish up round three. At the end of round three, you should have 24 stitches. Well, I'm almost done, so I'll just stick with it. Alrighty. Okay, so moving on to round four. Just take that out. All we're going to be doing is we're going to be increasing by 8 again. So we're going to work a single crochet into the first two stitches. Slide that stitch marker back into your first stitch. Now I don't do this all the time, but you can slide it into the front of the stitches here, which is nice because it's a little bit tighter and this kind of stitch marker does tend to fall out. So that's a great way to do it. And then it also doesn't get in your way when you're crocheting. And then, okay, so I did a single crochet in the first two stitches and then two single crochet in the next. And we're going to do single crochet in the next two stitches. And then we're going to follow that with two single crochet in the next. Okay, so that's your pattern repeat for round four. You're going to do a single crochet in two stitches followed by two single crochet in the next. And at the end of round four, your stitch count should be 32. I'll go ahead and finish that off. Okay, so you should have 32 stitches at the end of round four. Let's move on to round five, and we'll be increasing by 8 again. And the way we're going to do that is we're just going to work a single crochet into the first three stitches, 2 and 3, and follow that with two single crochet in the next. And let's move our stitch marker up to that first single crochet of the round. And then we're going to do a single crochet in the next three stitches, 1, 2, 3, 1, and then two single crochet in the next. So just do that pattern repeat for all of round five. And at the end, you should have 40 stitches. Okay, so at the end of round five, just double check and make sure that you have 40 stitches. Moving on to round six, we are going to work a single crochet into the first four stitches. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then two single crochet in the next. So 1 and 2. Move your stitch marker up. Where does the front one go? And then work a single crochet in the next four stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And two single crochet in the next. Okay, at the end of round 6, you should have 48 stitches. Let's move on to round 7. We only have 2 more increase rounds. Okay, so for round 7, we're going to work a single crochet on the first 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we are going to do our increase in the next. So that's the pattern repeat for round 7, single crochet in 5 stitches, 2 single crochet in the next. Do not jump ahead to round 8 because round 8 things change. We are not going to be crocheting in 6 stitches as some of you may think. So go ahead, finish up round 7 and we'll meet up for round 8. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 7 and I have 56 stitches. So for round 8, we're only going to do an increase. So for round 8, we're only going to be increasing by 4 stitches. And we're going to do that by working a single crochet in the first 13 stitches. So what you want to do is come around to your second increase here. So that's 13 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, oops, and 13. And then we're going to do an increase in the next. And you're going to repeat that around. So at the end of round 8, you'll have 60, and then we are actually going to start moving on to the texture part of the hat, which is so pretty. Okay, so go ahead and work that, and we'll meet on and start round 9. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 8. I finished off the round with 2 single crochet in the last stitch, and I've double checked that I have 60 stitches. So now we're going to move on to the sides of the hat, making these cluster stitches. Okay, so moving on to round 9, all we're going to be doing is working a double crochet into that first single crochet, and then skipping the next stitch, and then yarn over, insert the hook. So you're basically starting like a double crochet. You yarn over, pull that through, then you've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull it through 2 loops. And then you're going to do the exact same thing again. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. Now you've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then to tie them all together, you're just going to yarn over and pull through all 3. And then you're going to do a chain stitch, and then you're going to go and work right back in that same cluster or same stitch there. So yarn over, pull up a loop, got 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop. You've now got 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over and pull through 3. And then you're just going to follow that. You're going to skip the stitch here, and then you're going to just double crochet in the next stitch. Then you're going to skip the next stitch and then work those 2 clusters in the next. So let's go ahead and work the cluster. Yarn over. Oops, there's 3 and pull through all 3. Then you're going to chain 1 and go back and work another cluster stitch into that same stitch. Okay, and then we're going to skip the next stitch and do a double crochet. So that is your repeat all the way around. You're going to skip the next stitch, work those two clusters, chain one, another cluster into that same stitch, skip a stitch, and then a double crochet. So repeat that all the way around, and then I'll come back and we'll count our stitches together and move on to the next round, and I'll show you how to do that front post double crochet. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 9, and you're going to be finishing on this cluster stitch here. Then what we want to do is skip the next and join with a slip stitch to our first double crochet there. Okay, and then we're going to just chain one. Then what we're going to be doing is working the front post double crochet. And to do that, all you're going to do is yarn over, insert your hook from front to back and up around that post. And then you're just going to finish it off like a regular double crochet. Just pull your stitches up so that it's at the height of your chain and finish off that double crochet. And then you're going to be working in each chain one space, and you're going to work the same cluster combination. So you're going to work cluster followed by a chain one, followed by another cluster. And then for each double crochet that's on its own, you're going to work that front post double crochet. So just go in, around, up, and finish up that stitch. Easier said than done. There we go. Okay, so you're going to work the cluster combination in each chain one and a front post double crochet around each double crochet around. So go ahead and finish up that round, and we'll meet up and we'll move on to the rest. Okay, so I have just finished round 10, and all we're going to be doing at the end of round 10 and all the rounds moving forward is we're just going to join to the top of that double crochet with a slip stitch and chain one, and we're going to do exactly as we did in round 10 and just start with that front post double crochet in the first stitch and then follow that up working in the chain one space with those double crochet clusters. Okay, so that's all you're going to do for the rest of the rounds of the sides of the hat. So you do that until you finished 8 rounds. So the easiest way to count them is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll meet up to do the brim. Okay, so we're just going to join to that first double crochet and chain one. And then what we're going to be doing is just working a single crochet into every stitch around. So what I like to do, because we have these loose stitches here, is I like to just grab that. So I'm going it through under all 3 loops there when I do my single crochet. Then I'm going to work a single crochet in that chain one space, and then a single crochet at the top of that cluster. And then again, I'm just going to grab that stitch there and work a single crochet there. Okay, so that's 4 across. Then I'm going to just go over the double crochet there and start in again. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. And you just want to make sure that you are working the right amount of stitches when you're working these single crochets, because this will change the brim and could possibly change the size of the hat. So instead of working in the top of that cluster, just work underneath and grab all of those strands. Now, that's my preference, but if you prefer to work in the top of the cluster, of course you can do that. So go ahead and work that round, and at the end, you should have 60 stitches. Okay? So I'll meet up with you and we'll move on with the brim. Okay, so I have finished working that round and I've double checked and I still have 60 stitches. So what we're going to be doing for the first round is actually working in the front loop. So if you've never done that before, show you here. Each stitch has a front loop and a back loop. So we're going to be working through just the front loop, and that helps to lift the brim up and away from your face a little bit. So what we're going to be doing for this round is we're going to single crochet in the first two stitches. I'll slip in the stitch marker and then working two single crochet in the next, followed by one single crochet in the next, still working just through that front loop, followed by two single crochet in the next. So that's your pattern repeat for this round. So let's go ahead and do another one. We're just going to work a single crochet in the next two stitches, followed by two single crochet in the next, followed by a single crochet in the next, followed by two single crochet in the next. Now, it can get tricky to remember this repeat, so just every now and then check that you're staying on track. Now, if at the end of it you're off by one or two stitches, you don't need to worry about it. It's not going to make a big difference to the brim, and then you can just move on ahead. So just remember that you're going to do a single crochet in two stitches, followed by two single crochet in the next, or an increase, followed by a single crochet in the next stitch, followed by two single crochet or an increase in the next. So just go ahead and work that for the entire round. And at the end, you should have 84 stitches. And just don't worry about it if you're off a stitch or two, maybe even three. If you want, just go back. If you do want to fix it, and use the method that I showed you at the beginning of the tutorial on how to find the error. Okay, so I'll go ahead and work this round and then we'll meet up for the rest of the brim. Okay, so I finished that round and you can see here how it's lifting up and away. So of course it's not going to stick out that much when you're done, but okay, so all we're going to be doing now for rounds 2 through 8. So for 7 more rounds, all we're going to be doing is working continuously, no joining, no turning, a single crochet in every stitch, and you're going to return to working through both those loops. So no more working in the front loop, just work a single crochet in every stitch around. Use your stitch marker to mark the beginning of each round and move it up as you go. Just going to come to the end here and fasten off. So that's everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and found this really easy to make. If you post them on Instagram, be sure to tag me at prettydarnadorable.com and check out this video linked here. YouTube thinks that you will enjoy it. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.